Hello, it is I are smart. And you see, it's that time of year. It's the time of year where I go on my big rant. I think if you've been down the channel the last few years, you know every year I go on this big rant about the fact that Christmas starts way too early. But this year, I thought about it a bit more. Because, I usually just I get on my spot, I tell you, stop celebrating it too early. I do that with my, of course, legally acquired stop sign. Anyway, but this year I thought about it a bit more. And I think there might be something bigger going on here. And that's what I'd like to talk about. There's something going on here and I need to expose it. So, of course, every year I get really upset because I see the music starts way too early for Christmas. People put up their decorations way too early for Christmas, and that upsets me, okay? But I started thinking about why. Why it is that this makes me angry, and maybe why it is that it happens in the first place. So I've come to this conclusion. You see, I think Christmas is slowly being replaced, guys. It's slowly being replaced by this idea of the holiday season. Ooh, okay? Now, I want to clarify something here. I'm not trying to be like, that PragerU channel with their annoying ads of like, oh, the war on Christmas and all that bullcrap. No, I'm not trying to do that. I don't think it's some, get rid of Christmas. I don't think that's the thing here. That's not what they're trying to do. I think it's instead trying to morph and expand Christmas too much for a more sinister reason than what you might realize. You see, I believe that over the last century or so, companies have realized how incredibly profitable and great Christmas is, how much it can be used. Because think about it, what do people do at Christmas? They buy gifts, they buy decorations, they buy food, they buy all these different things at the end of the year. But how do we get the people to spend more on Christmas? How do we get to make it a bigger thing? How do we get people to buy more gifts, more food, and plan more parties and have more decorations? How do we do this? We just take all the other end of the year celebrations and just shove them together and become this big thing called the holiday season. It's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's Thanksgiving, it's Hanukkah, it's Kwanzaa, it's whatever other celebrations. It's all just, a month or two span, it's a whole month because think about it. If Christmas is just like a day, a week, people will buy a few gifts, they'll have a few parties. They might have a dinner, they might put a couple lights in their house, but then they're just going to take them down. So what's the point of spending a lot of money on it? But if Christmas is 2 months, well, why don't we spend all this money? We can have a big bunch of parties. We can have so much food and so much presents. And just more and more and more and more and more. Now, you see, probably now is the point where you're thinking, Irishbert, what's the big deal? Come on, man. Are you really going to be upset about this? These are all great things. People getting together, people having parties, people giving each other gifts. That's a great thing. And don't get me wrong, these are good things. But I ask you this, at what point is too much of a good thing too much? What is the limit? Where does the holiday season end? Who's to say this doesn't just keep expanding, Who's to say next year they don't just throw Halloween into this holiday season? It's a holiday. It's at the end of the year, I already see ads for it all as early as September because apparently we need 2 months for Halloween too. Like, I don't get, let's just make it super long. The whole last half of the year, let's just make that all holiday celebrations. What holidays? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's the holiday season. And you see, I asked the question again, at what point does too much of a good thing become a bad thing? You see, a phrase I love to live by in my life is the phrase, everything in moderation. I think about this a lot of the time. I think everything has its limits. Some things for limits are like, no, non-existent. Like the limit of poison is like, that much. You can't have much of it, and that's the limit. But for other things, more reasonable, there's only so much water you can drink. If you drink too much water, you can actually make yourself sick. I don't know if you guys do that. And then that goes for any kind of food or sweets or any sort of, good thing. There's a limit to it. There's a point where it becomes too much, and it becomes a bad thing. My point with these holidays is that by throwing all of them together under this just blanket conglomerate of holidays, it's making each of them individually less valuable by just throwing them all together. Like, oh, what's Hanukkah? It's another holiday. I don't even know what it is. People have like a menorah or something. They give gift. I think it's just like Christmas, right? What even is it? I don't know. I don't really care. Why should I care? It's just another holiday. You guys can celebrate it because it's the holiday season. What holiday you're celebrating? I don't care. It's a holiday. Woo, let's all just have fun and not care about anything. Yeah. I think that's just what's happening to Christmas. It just doesn't feel special anymore. It doesn't feel important anymore because it's just thrown in with everything else, Maybe I'm just becoming more cynical. Maybe I'm just older. That very well could just be me. Maybe it is just me, but I don't think it is. I don't think I'm alone here. I mean, just ask around. You see how many people talk about how stressful the end of the year season is. They have to plan parties. They have to plan out who they're going to give gifts to. They have to coordinate all these different things going on at the end of the year on top of all their regular daily stuff. And you ask some people and say, yeah, it's just the most stressful time of the year because you got all these different things going on. And don't tell me that these companies don't know the effect of having Christmas music start the exact second the clock ticks over on November 1st. Don't tell me they want that to happen, right? Because as soon as people start hearing that music, they start thinking about that stuff. They start thinking, oh, it's gift buying time. I have to rush out and go buy gifts. They're already playing Christmas music. I gotta go get gifts. I gotta go get decorations. I gotta go do this stuff. It gets you out. It gets you out to go to the store and buy stuff. Also, a little side note here. I'd like to ask you for a moment to just think about all of us poor retail employees who over the next 2 months are going to have to endure Christmas music on the store radio for our entire shift for a whole 2 months. How many times we have to hear Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. I can't even describe it to you. It's pain. It's pain, man. So please, just think of us poor retail employees. We're struggling in this time. It's the worst time of the year for us. That does remind me, though, these songs and Christmas movies as well, they reinforce these Christmas ideas that they want you to think. Because think about, what do you see in a Christmas movie or in a song? What do they describe? A tree with so many presents under it. Tons and tons of presents. A big table with so many chairs and so much huge display of food. And, houses with lights all the way from top to bottom. So many lights, so many decorations, so many things in the yard. Oh my gosh, so many things that you see in these movies and described in these songs. You don't think that's intentional? Also, these songs and movies work to keep the Santa mythos alive, the legend of Santa Claus, which started pretty simple until Coca-Cola just kind of was like, hey, Santa, that's what Santa is now, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. So thank you, Coca-Cola, for pretty much inventing our modern view of Santa Claus. Anyway, sorry for this video, which was just, it felt very doom and gloom, and I just very cynical, and just, and it does, I hope I didn't, ruin your day with this, but it just feels like, I know I'm kind of being a Scrooge here, but it feels like I've been forced into it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to hate the holiday season. It's just I feel like I can't not, right? I feel like I've just been forced into it, because I'm just so sick of seeing the same stuff every year. It's like, oh wow, it's November 1st, I have to celebrate Christmas now. Okay, that's what everyone else is doing. Just, I don't know how to fix this problem. I don't know if any of us do. Maybe it's just, a thing the marketing companies are going to keep doing, and maybe we can just try and avoid it, I'm just going to do what I do and try and avoid thinking about any Christmas stuff until after Thanksgiving, and just try to avoid all the music as much as I possibly can, because I don't want to burn myself out on Christmas. I don't want to do that, There's only so many Christmas songs. I can't listen to them for 2 months. 1 month is kind of pushing it. By the end of December, I'm kind of sick of hearing all the same ones, so I don't know. It's just, I don't want to burn myself out on Christmas. I want to like it. I want to enjoy it. Just, can we have it as time, okay? That's all I ask, please. Okay, that's the end of this video.